Hello, good afternoon. My name is Allison Schlofelt, and this is Beginners Bootcamp. If you can see me and hear me, can you just let me know in the chat just so that I know we're good to go? I'm gonna wait to make sure that someone tells me they can hear me. Perfect, okay. So I'm too short for this thing, so if it looks like I'm looking all over the place, it's just because I'm too short for the studio setup we have. So this is Beginners Bootcamp. Hello. So this is Beginners Bootcamp. I know bootcamp makes it sound like we're in the Army, and that's kind of scary. So this whole presentation is actually going to be themed around like going to summer camp or something like that, just to make it a little more fun. So, as I said, I'm Allison Schlofelt. I am the new coordinator of digital integration. I've been here for 3 weeks now. Before that, I was the digital integration specialist at Riley High School. Go Wildcats. And before that, I taught in Kendallville, Indiana at East Noble. So I've never not taught in a one-to-one school district. So I have a lot of experience in that. If you want to introduce yourself, tell me who you are, what grade you're in, what school you're in, throw it in the chat for me, because even though we're virtual through all of this, we still want to see and hear our people, right? Like I see Terry Tonkel in the chat already. Hey, Terry. He's my guy at Riley, so I'm excited. Hello to Jay Clark and Julie Smith at Jefferson, Mr. Stefaniak. Hope you guys are all having a great first day. This is so exciting. I have all the chat coming in on this side. So if you see me keep looking over there, it's because I look at everything you guys are saying. Just so you know, this session is being recorded so that it will forever be on our YouTube, so you can watch it anytime. And these slides that I am going to go through, you can find them on our Canvas course as well. They're linked there now, or if they aren't, they will be after this is over. So everybody is in here. Hello. I hope you guys are all having a great first day. Hi, Bonnie. I hope you got to see your kids' faces today. Yes. Hello, everybody. Kelly Jankowski. Hi. Oh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started because I want to give you guys a bunch of time to just ask your questions because this is a beginner session, right? So how's this going to work is I am going to let you guys vote in the chat right now. Do you want to first talk about Google Meet? Do you want to talk about Google Classroom or Google Slides? So if you most want to know about Google Meet, press in the chat 1, Google Classroom, type 2, and Google Slides, type 3. We're going to get to all of them either way, but I just want to know what is most important to you guys and make sure we hit that first. So cool, I'm seeing some Google Meet, some Google Classrooms. I see slides. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of ones. Cool. I do want to remind everyone that this is just a super basic session, and there will be throughout these 2 weeks diving deeper into these sessions as well. So if you don't get a question answered today, just hang tight. There will be another session. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like we're going to start with Google Meet. So to schedule a Google Meet, you can do it 2 ways. You can do it through Gmail or you can do it through Calendar. If you are using Google Classroom, which we have encouraged you to do, it will automatically create a Google link for you. It will always be there for you. It'll always be there for the students. That is what we recommend using. Gmail does allow you to create these Google Meets on the left-hand side. You can see in this image, it's just kind of over off to your side. It's new. It's in your little Hangouts. Or you can do it through the calendar, and this is what I do the most. And when you get to your calendar, you can click on Create, add your event details and all the guests you need to be there, and then click Save, and it'll send an invite to all those people. The positive to doing it through Calendar is that if you forget somebody, you can always add them later. So I would always forget somebody. So that would be my way of doing it. So that is how you start a Google Meet. Sorry, I'm trying to read chats on the side as well. Breakout rooms in Google Meet are coming. I don't think they'll be here until September or October, but they are coming. I need to have a camera pointed at what I'm doing and the image being a live part of the meet. Eve, I am going to throw your question to somebody that I saw in here, Mrs. Duff. Keiko, I'm very sorry, but can you answer that question for me? Because I know the science department at Riley, or Mrs. Summers I saw was also in here. Will either of you kind of answer Eve's question about how to show your video and have it be live at the same time? I know you guys did awesome with that. So after you create it, you can join Google Meets in various ways. And I know I see all of your questions, and I promise once we're done with this little section of Google Meet, I'm going to go through them all. So to join a Google Meet, you can either do it through Gmail. You can do it through the calendar just by clicking on where it says join a Google Meet. You can go to meet.google.com, and if you have one already scheduled, it'll show up in there. Or you can join on your phone if you don't have a Chromebook, and if you need to get into a Google Meet that way, you need to download the app. I am going to take a second before that, and you can still see my screen. So I'm going to go to my calendar so I can show you guys how to do it through calendar. So this is my calendar, and I can click on create. It's going to go really slow. And I can add a title, right? Test me, whichever. I can change the date to whenever I want it to be. And then this is where you can add guests. And I can add whoever I want to add. And it'll show me different things if the person's unavailable or things like that. And then sometimes down here it'll say join with a Google Meet. You might have to click on that just so that it allows the person to join. And then you can click save. So I don't want to send it. I'm going to dismiss it. For example, I chatted with good old Bonnie Perry this morning. You can see my Google Meet with her up here. I can click on this if we forgot somebody, and I can click on the pencil. And then the pencil allows me to add more people over here. I can add Chase, I can add Tara, whoever I want to, I can add. If you're wanting to use the classroom one, you'll go to classroom.google.com. And it's going to take forever to load. And if I'm in Chase's class, we're just going to use his example. There's this Meet link right here. This is what I would use. This allows you to join and your students to join, and it is in the same spot for both of you. So it is automatically right here for you. A Google Meet is in each of your classes. I would recommend using those if you're trying to do an entire class. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. And again, I will answer more questions when I'm done with this. So once you're inside a Google Meet, there's all these different features, right? This is what your Google Meet will look like. You can view your participants by the little button that says people. You can chat with the participants. You can pin a participant. This would mean that that's the only person you see. You can remove a participant, and this is kind of iffy. I know this was a thing for teachers. I also know that if you remove them, they can come back in. So that's something we're working on to try and get that figured out. At the bottom, so this line right here will sometimes go away. You kind of have to bring your cursor down to it and kind of click on it for it to come back up. So you can share your meeting underneath the little tab on the left. You can turn off your microphone and turn off your camera. You can leave the meeting if you click the red button. You can present your screen. And then there's some additional settings, like your record setting is going to be in underneath these 3 lines or 3 dots. When you click on those 3 dots, it'll say record meeting, and that's what you're going to click. It's going to ask you to make sure you ask the students, is everybody okay with me recording? If not, I need you to turn your camera off and go from there. And then it'll record, it'll send it to your email, and then you'll have it in your Google Drive to then upload to your Google Classroom to be able to have students access it at any time. So one thing is that a lot of this information, this Google Meet information, is probably going to end up like getting added to, because Google Meet is complete, like they're just adding new features in the next couple of months. Plus, we have a secret to tell you. We are upgrading our Google Apps to Google Enterprise, which means we get all these really cool new features, especially for Google Meet. We will get more people in your tile view. You'll get breakout rooms coming in September, October. Who knows? That's the time Google's saying. There's more. There's so much new to Google Meet in the next few months that it's just kind of coming. So we will see what else we'll provide PD along the way, we promise. I know Mrs. Duff Keiko asked about the tile view, and I know it's iffy sometimes, and I know last year we asked a lot of people to download the extension. Sometimes the extension works and sometimes it doesn't. So it kind of just depends. You may delete that extension and use just the tile view in Google Meet, or you can use the extension. You might have to restart your computer. Google is ever changing, so sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute before we go back and answer some of these questions in the chat, but I see that you guys are collaborating, which I'm super excited about, because I'm standing here talking to an empty room and I wanna be in a room with all of you, so I'm glad. Hi, Jarvis. Oh, I hope you had a great first day. I hope you guys are getting to collaborate a little bit with your team today and your people. I miss being in person. Okay. And I know Chase is on here also trying to help me out. Chase is our new elementary coordinator of student and professional virtual learning, or some sort of title like that. So how do you mute the students? This button, oh, my mouse is all, okay. This button right here, I know you can't see it on my slides, I'm sorry, it's a microphone. You can click it and they're gonna be muted. And as far as I know, if you're using the Google Classroom link, they cannot unmute themselves. So, Vivian, it depends on how you make it. So if you make a recurring event, whether it be in, if it's on calendar, that link will not change. Your Google Classroom Meet will never change. So that's why if you're using Google Classroom, that's the best link to use, because it stays the same all the time. Yep, perfect. Yeah. Kelly Jankowski, I would delete your extension and maybe re-download it, or just use Google's version of it. Yeah, the extension's kind of just hit or miss because Google changes so much, and a lot of the time it's fantastic rock star teachers who just want to help our lives, and so they make it, and then Google's like, we'll make our own, and so it's just kind of messy. Yes, Marcy is correct. The Google Classroom link for Google Meet will not work until the teacher logs in, which is a huge positive because you don't have students in the Meet before you having their own conversations or after you having their own conversations. So if I did not answer your question and you still have it, can you please retype it? I saw a bunch of them and I'm hoping that I answer them as I talked, but if I still need to answer your question, please, I'm sorry, can you retype it? Mr. Stoltz, when we record our meetings and present a lesson using the Present Now, will that PowerPoint show up in the recording? Yes, it does it so great. It does it where it just shows your PowerPoint, and then every now and then, like, your face will pop up more than likely, but it's whoever's speaking the most. So your PowerPoint will be there, and then your little face will be down here probably. So that'll definitely be there. Mr. Keeler, you can do parent conferences in Google Meet. It will ask you to accept them. A little box will pop up and it'll say, do you want to accept this out of domain person? And you click yes, and they're there. To upload your video to Google Classroom, your video is going to go, your Google Meet recording is going to go directly to your Google Drive. And then just like you would upload any kind of assignment or document to Google Classroom, you would do it the same way. You could say you want to add content or material, I think is Google Classroom's word for it. And then click from Drive and find your video, and then it will upload for you. I believe, okay, Chase, you're good there. I think the only way it will record is it's going to be the single speaker, Catherine. I'm not 100% sure if you can change the link once it's in Google Classroom. I think that's just always the link because it stays the same no matter what. Yes, Vivian, your video is going to be in your email and also in your Google Drive. It just wants you to know that it's done processing and it's ready to go. I can show you that, Shelly. Well, I should say maybe. Let me, oh, I'm trying to use, okay. Let's do this. Is it gonna let me in or no? So this is what happens when, oh, there we go, because I'm a teacher. So I'm gonna join now. And so now you're gonna see a lot of me. I'm very sorry about that. It's gonna give me this information. Right, so down here is just that same information again, in case you want to copy the join code or anything like that. I can mute myself. I can turn my camera off. I can turn on captions, which is awesome for the students who need that for accommodating. And it does a pretty good job of doing what I say. When you present now, you can choose a Chrome tab, a window, or your entire screen. So then when you go to record, it's going to be under these three dots. And you're going to click Record Meeting. And it's going to ask you for consent. And you're going to click Accept. And then up here in the corner, as soon as it turns red, there we go. We're recording it. It is good to go. And then whenever I go back to my three little dots, and I can click Stop Recording. Stop recording. And it just told you, I'm sorry, I clicked it too fast. It just told you that it's going to go to my Google Drive. It's also going to email me. Yes. Hi, Vince. It is under a folder called Meet Recordings. So again, you click on the 3 dots and you click Record Meeting. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to end this and go back. Okay, we're back to correct. Your recordings can have students. They can, yes. You just have to tell them that you're recording them so that if they want to turn off their screens, they can, or their cameras. So after meet, we're gonna, so we have enough time to hit everything. Let me know if you, in the chat now, if you want to go to 2 or 3. Do you want to talk classroom or slides? 2, 3. Again, I'm trying to keep things super basic. If you want to know more or you don't get your question answered today, feel free to reach out. We also have a ton more sessions the next 2 weeks, so you may get your answer from one of those. I know we have a diving deeper into Google Classroom on Friday. I know we have a getting good with Google Slides on Friday. And then I think it might be tomorrow, it might be next week, one that's more about like asynchronous learning. So that'll talk more about Meet. All right, I'm seeing some 2s and 3s. You guys are super iffy. We're gonna go 3, and then we'll go back. So basics, right? We're gonna talk super basics of Google Slides. Your toolbar allows you to add a new slide. It lets you select items. It lets you add a text box, an image, a shape, or a line. It lets you change the color, change the borders, add links, or add number bullets. And everything I'm going to talk about, if you click on this link down here, where it's not going to, down here where it says G Suite Learner, it will take you to everything that I'm talking about. So the new slide gets you just a brand new slide. It'll be plain clear or plain white. You can also have a template already for you. You can move the slides around. You can delete a slide. You can duplicate a slide by right-clicking in the sidebar and select duplicate, or you can delete a slide. So I'm just going to show you right here in my own. If I want a new slide, there's this plus button, and I can choose any of these templates. Okay, there it goes. Here's my toolbar we had talked about. I can move the slide just by dragging it, right? I can move it to there, I can move it up here, whichever. I can right-click it, and I can delete it completely. I can duplicate the slide, which just gives me the same exact slide. So for example, if I want this same slide, I can click duplicate slide, and it makes the exact same slide for me, which is positive. It's definitely a pro if you want all your students on one Google slide deck doing different things, is you can create whatever you want them to create and then press duplicate 15 to 30 times, and then they're all there for you. I'm going to delete it just for the sake of it. So I showed a new slide. You can use PowerPoint if you want. Go for it. I showed everything on there. I saw how do you see your students. So right down here in the bottom, bottom left, there's the little grid looking guy. That's going to bring this up. And these are all my slides together. So if I had a classroom full of students working, I would say, Anna, you get slide 4. Bobby, you get slide 5. Linda, you get slide 6. And then I'm going to know that this is number 6 is Linda, number 5 is Bobby, right? And plus their little person's going to come up here or down here, and their little face will probably appear. And then to go back, you can click over here. Did you Google, or how did you get to that screen? Which screen, Linda? Just my start screen? You can go to slides.google.com. And then it'll show you your Google Slides. And it gives you a bunch of different templates up here, which are awesome to use. So if I want to take this PowerPoint, right, this beginner's PowerPoint, and I want to put it into Google Classroom, I'm just going to share something with all of Chase's class. You can also do it in classwork and click Create. I'm going to do material because it's not something that I want the students working on or turning in. Title it. And then you click Add from my Google Drive. And my Google Drive is a hot mess, you guys, so just don't look at it right now. You see, okay. And this is the first one. So I'll double click it and I will post it. And then it will be there somewhere. Oh, test slides, right at the top. I couldn't find it. And then students will be able to click on it and go to those slides. So if there are hyperlinks on that slide, your students will be able to get to them from there. So more about slides. Thanks, Eve. I'm not sure how to do that. So I am going to ask for the future of how to make my little guide better. Yes, Jane Vordy. Once you create your Google Slides, they will automatically be in your drive. When I post it, will they have access? Yes. So when I posted it, it automatically gave them access. It gave them view access. And sometimes it'll ask me over here, like if it's an assignment, it's going to ask you, do you want to make a copy? So let me show you that route. If I want to say, like, let's say this is an assignment where I want every kid to put something on a different slide. I would choose assignment. Shout out to Chase because he doesn't know I'm using his Google Classroom. So thanks for that. Sorry, I'm making it a little messy. Add Google Drive. I'm going to click the same presentation. So see how it says students can view file? You can say that students can view the file, students can edit the file, or you can make a copy for each student. This is awesome to make a copy for each student if you have something that you want every single student doing on their own. If you want students to all work on the same slideshow, then I would choose students can edit file. So sharing your slides during a Google Meet, you would just share your screen and your slides would be up on your Google Meet. So you'll say present now, and then you'll click your window that you want, and then your slides will come up. All right. So you can also import slides. That gets a little tricky, but if there are slides from a different slideshow that you want, it's there. You can make a copy. This is all underneath your file button on the top toolbar of Google Slides. You can make a copy of your slides. You can download your slides as a PowerPoint or a PDF to, I don't remember who asked the question about PowerPoint. You can also change your PowerPoint to Google Slides. It will also transfer that way if you're interested. You can email your slides. You can check the version history. So if you have everybody on one slide deck and they're all on a different slide and Susie goes over to Bobby's and messes with it, the version history will show you that, which is pretty cool. You can also publish it to the web. Not usually necessary, but it's doable. So this is a huge part of Google Slides, is sharing it. Okay, so when you share it, if you give someone view access, that's all they can do. View only. That's it. If you let them be a commenter, they can make comments on the sides, and that's it. If you give them editing access, they can move your pictures, add, delete text, they can add comments to the side, and they can share it or unshare it with whoever they want. So be super careful about giving students editing access unless you have taught them the etiquette of not messing with other people's slides, not messing with your slides. Again, we have another session that will dive deeper into this Google Slides on Friday. And they're going to kind of show you some really cool stuff that you can do with it. This is just a super basic beginner session. So awesome. You can also collaborate. This is where you can insert your comments. You can share your slideshow with people. So if everybody in the choir department wants to work on a slide to send out to their students, they can all work on certain slides. Mrs. Vorty can have a slide all about choir. Mr. Gorman can have a slide all about band. Miss Hoyt can have a slide all about band. And you guys can all work on the same slide deck at the same time by adding people and sharing it. And then you can share it with all of the band kids and choir kids at Riley. Easy as that. So not everybody has to do all the work. That's not questions. We're not. But I am going to look at the chat for some questions on Google Meet. And I know Chase is doing an awesome job over here answering questions. Jane, I am not, we're using something called StreamYard. I know there's a free version of it. I'm not sure what all it will let you do. So it's an option. You can try it. I think when you record in Google Meet, your face comes, like your little picture is down in the corner. If someone wants to say if that's true or not, I don't know. Vivian, I can, Vivian, I will show you in my Google Meet, and then my mouse is really strange on here. I'll show you on here how to share on a Google Meet. And then if you still have trouble, just reach out to us or Technology Services, and one of us will be able to help you. So if I am in the chat in the Google Meet, let me turn off all my stuff. Yes, I know. Present now. You can choose your entire screen. And then you're going to see a bunch of stuff. Sorry. We're going to do this one. I will pull up my Google Slides. Or this one. And then in the Meet, I'm presenting to the Meet. So the Meet is just seeing what you're seeing minus like me over here. So again, you will click on Present Now. And then you'll have to click on one of these guys. Your entire screen, a window or a Chrome tab, whichever. Your entire screen. And it'll ask you which screen, if you have more than one. And you will click the correct screen. And then go to your Google Slides, and it will be sharing. You may want to put it in present mode when you share on a Google Meet so that you don't have all of this stuff around it. It just looks a little nicer. Okay, I'm going to get out of this Google Meet again. So, yes, Cynthia, selecting the screen. Yeah, that's a big part. Yes, Jennifer, you can pre-record a Google Meet. You would just kind of do exactly what we're doing, how it's just me in there, and I would click record and record it with my screen up, talk, do my thing, and then share it that way. Yep. Oh, I don't know, Dorothy. I think it's going to move the Chrome tab. So like if I choose one Chrome tab and I go to a different one, I think it's going to show the one Chrome tab. So I would just kind of check it, try it with colleagues, and go from there. So Dorothy, again, sorry. I know Chase told you Evernote. You can also try Google Jamboard. That should be working for us now, and it allows you to kind of write things, type things, etc. It's kind of like a whiteboard. So it's pretty cool. Are there any other questions that I haven't answered regarding Google Slides? Eve, I know you've asked this question a couple times now. I think you're gonna like a document camera or like an old school Elmo. Yeah, or like hang your computer on its side so that the camera is over you. That sounds dangerous though. Don't tell IT I told you to do that. Eve, let me think on that and kind of reach out to some people and see. I know the science department was doing a lot of document camera stuff at Riley last year for e-learning. But I'll see what I can find. Any other questions about Google Slides before we move on to Google Classroom? I know we only have about 15 minutes left, less than that. Yes, Robin, you can do that. I suggest going to the session on Friday about getting good with Google Slides. They're probably going to talk to you about like Pear Deck. I know we also have a session on Pear Deck. Pear Deck lets it be interactive. Nearpod lets it be interactive. Or getting good with Google Slides on Friday will also show you how just your normal Google Slides can be interactive. Yes, Mrs. Cook. My cute lady is called Bitmoji. I'll show you, I will say 5 minutes, a little less than that at the end, to show you my tips and tricks on my clip art and my cute lady. So, okay, Google Classroom. The first thing I want to tell you is everything I'm about to show you comes from Ditch That Textbook. And when you get these slides, you can click on this picture, and it's going to take you to a quick start guide to Google Classroom. Matt Miller is from Indiana. He is fantastic. He's got podcasts about it. He's got blogs about it. And of course, it's not going to load as quickly as it should. Melody, I may have a few Bitmoji scenes ready. You may also have seen Mr. Henderson's Bitmoji scenes. And I kind of played with his before I played with my own on that one because He loves using his Bitmoji on everything. So I was creating Bitmoji scenes for Mr. Henderson before I did my own. All right, so this lovely Google Classroom quick start. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to show you how to set up in Google Classroom. I know we don't necessarily need these because a lot of ours were auto-rostered, but if you did have problems with the auto-roster, you can click the plus button and create your class. Okay, there's your class code to get to your students. This is why we tried to auto-roster for you guys. It made it easier to get the codes to students. Julie, the slide presentation is in our Canvas course. It'll be made available after this. I'll also put it in the description. So you can customize your Google Classroom by selecting different themes if you want to make it pretty. To do that, you just click over here, select theme. Like, see, Chase has his little Bitmoji scene as his background. You can change your themes. Oh, sorry, guys. You can change your theme around. You then have these 4 different topics at the top. Your stream is kind of like a Facebook wall for Google Classroom. It's good for announcements that you want kids to see, and just things that you want your entire class to see. A huge thing that is super important is to go to your settings, which if you missed that, I clicked on these 3 little lines over here, and you click settings. And the one thing you want, shoot, that's the wrong one. Go back to Chase's class. This gear, that's what I wanted. The gear gets you to your class settings. And if you scroll down to general, you want to change where it says stream and classwork. You want to make this so that only the teacher can post or make comments. Okay, just make sure that your stream is only teachers can post, because you don't want your students having their own conversations on your stream. So again, your stream, it kind of just is at a glance of your page. Your classwork tab is where your students will find all your work. Underneath the create button, you have an assignment, which will allow a student to turn something back into you. Your quiz assignment is just what it says. It's just a quiz. You can ask a question. If Vince is still on here, Vince was using the question as like his login every day to make sure that students were logging in. He would just ask kind of like a social emotional question. How are you feeling today? What did you do to get active today? Things like that. Material is something that you don't want students to interact with. It's kind of like a slideshow or a video, things that they're not going to mess with. Yeah, there's your shout out, Vince. You can also reuse posts or make topics. Also on your classwork tab, this is where they can get into the Meet. They can see their Google Classroom or their Google Calendar. That will show them all the work that you've assigned. And there's also a class drive folder. Underneath your people is your teachers and your students. If it did not auto roster, or if you have ads or drops, you can click on the people button and type in their name. I keep using, there you go. I can type in the name and add my student, invite them to the course. So there I can invite her. And if I want to delete her because she dropped out of my class, I can remove her. And then under grades, there will be a grade book when we have students. It is very important to understand that the grades in Google Classroom do not move over to PowerSchool automatically. So if you grade things in Google Classroom, you do need to move it over to PowerSchool. PowerSchool is our official grade book. So in classwork, Michelle, to add people, you will click on the invite teachers and add your student teacher, but it does need to be a personal Google account. Their school accounts will not allow them into our domain. Last year's classroom. So here are all my classes, and I know there's a bunch. To get rid of classes, you can archive them. Well, I can unenroll or move it around. I'm not a teacher on any of these to archive it, and I'm nervous. Okay. I can archive this classroom because this is a classroom from last year, and it will go away. If you have a archived classroom that you want back, you can click on those 3 little lines in the upper left, scroll down to archived classes, and here are all my old archived classes. So if you need those back. If you want to use stuff from a previous course that's already been archived, you can restore it or copy. And if you copy this class, it will make you a new one. The rosters and the announcements won't be copied over, just the classwork and the topics. So again, I went to the old archived classes at the bottom of this menu. And if I need my class officers again, there's 3 little bubbles in here, and you can click copy. It is your class, Vince. This is Vince's class. He did such a good job e-learning. If you want to combine your classes into one, you have to create your own and get your students rostered on your own. When we rostered it for you, it went by Power School. So if they're 2 separate classes, you would have to create your own. Or give them all the same Google Classroom. Yes, Sally, that is a workaround. Kelly Jankowski, you'll need to talk to SPED about this, like Mary Lou or somebody in special ed, because there is not a way in Google Classroom to not have student names show. So it's difficult on that end. So I'm not really sure what they're advising you to do. We only have about 2 minutes left in this session. Again, everything is in these slides. You can click on this and it'll take you to this right here. This presentation is being recorded. It will be on our YouTube channel. The slides are in the Canvas course already. So I'm going to take the last minute. Yes, Sally, you can use your phone as a document camera. I'm going to take the last couple seconds to show you my lovely backgrounds and how I can do that. Before I do that, the last slide, it'll tell you to learn more and claim your badge. If you click on these badges, it'll take you to our South Bend badging system. You can complete it for a cool digital badge to put on your little Girl Scout vest or your Boy Scout sash, whatever they come with, Boy Scout vest. So if you want to learn more, you didn't get your question answered, they are there as well. Nope, Vince, you're good watching. Good to go. So for these lovely pictures, I have 2 things. I have Unsplash as an add-on, where it will add pictures for you. It'll have better pictures for you. Army vest, yes, Dwight. You can have cute little badges on your Army vest, right? So Unsplash Photos is a really good add-on. That's how I get my background pictures. And then Bitmoji, it's up here. It's a little extension, is where I get my little person. Bitmoji does take a minute. because you have to design him or her to look like you. And thank you, Mr. Jerkades. So it does take a little bit to get your Bitmoji to look right, but you can choose different outfits, things like that. It's so much fun. I use it in emails, use it on my slides. It's just kind of fun to mess with. So those are my two tricks to making my slides a little prettier. To get my tent down here on the bottom, I just went to insert image, search the web, and I think I just typed in tent and kind of searched for one that I liked. The positive to this, when they click on insert and then image and then upload from computer, all of these, not that one, sorry, search the web. All of these are copyright good to go. Like, we're not worried about copyright on any of these. Google does that for us. They choose the ones that we can have. Oh, I didn't know there was a tent caterpillar. That's cool. So we're not copywriting at all when we use the ones inside of Google or inside of Unsplash. Unsplash is a website you can copy paste, or you can go to add-ons and click get add-ons and type in Unsplash that way. It might be whitelisted now, so if it is whitelisted, I promise I will fix that for you. All right. The badges, I saw that question in there. The badges are just to learn more in case I didn't answer your questions. It also gives you cute little badges to put on your email, or just kind of helps us know who's master of what. It's just a micro badging. Thanks, Jarvis. I like when we use Bitmojis. Riley was Bitmoji all the way last year. It was fun. Thanks, John Christie. Thank you all for watching. Again, this will be up on our YouTube channel. The slides are in Canvas. I will also put them in the job description below. The slide for the badges is on the very bottom of the slide deck. I miss you guys at Riley too. Thank you so much. Have a great year. We're going to do fantastic. My saying for the year is be patient, be flexible, and have grace. Have grace for yourself. Have grace for your students. Have grace for their parents. It's going to be an awesome year. Bye, guys.